So we have our door here. And what we're going to do is hook it up in Unity now so we can trigger our first-person controller to, when he walks up to it, the door will open, and then when he walks out of it, it'll close. So the first thing we want to do is export this guy out. So I'm going to go to File, Export All, and then under Animations, I'm going to make sure that that's checked on. Bake Animation 0 to 35 is checked on. I'm going to just make a folder on the desktop. I already have one called Door actually, but and you can leave all these options pretty much as is. If you have textures attached to it, you always want to have on Embed Media. So if we go here to Embed Media, you want to check that on as well. So I'm just going to name this Door with the @ symbol, which is above 2, open. Now the reason I'm naming it @open is because when you have the @ symbol, Unity registers that as the name of the animation is whatever follows it. So we could name this even like Door Open so that like it avoids any sort of confusion. Notice that my animation timeline here is set to 0 to 35, which is the exact length of my animation. So I'm going to go ahead and export this out. Now we need some sort of idle, which is the door not opening. Do you see that? So I'm just going to go back and do File, Export All, and I'm going to just select this so that I don't have to type the door @ and I'm just going to write door @ idle. And then our animation here, I'm just going to change it from bake animation to 0. So it's just holding that frame. I'm going to go ahead and hit Export All. What I'm going to do is pause the video now and then open Unity. So for those of you who are just sort of jumping in now or haven't copied over your other assets from the previous tutorial into Unity, let's do a quick refresher. So I'm going to make a new project, and I'm going to make sure it's 3D, and under Add Asset Package, I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to click Characters. That's going to give me my first-person controller, and I'm going to hit Done. Under Project Name, I'm going to name it whatever the name of my game is. So this is like Space Game or something. Okay? Now that package is added. I'm just going to name the project name is going to be the same as the folder, so I'm going to hit Desktop. I'm going to hit Create Project. I'm going to go ahead and pause it again and let Unity start up. So here we have a fresh project, and we have an editor folder, and we have a standard assets. Within standard assets, you can see characters, first person, and then there's one called prefabs. This guy right here, the FPS controller, is our prefab controller. That's what our character will look at. So I'm going to go to Game Object, and I'm going to drop a plane underneath it for now. Now when I press play, that's this guy here, what you'll notice is now I'm controlling that. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and hit Escape and then uncheck Play here. I'm going to make a folder on the top of my Assets directory called Models. Within this folder, I'm going to make another folder called Objects. And if you followed the previous tutorial, you might already have this set up. And then in here, I'm going to right-click, I'm going to create another folder. I'm going to call this Doors. And then I'm going to make a new folder in this folder, and I'm going to call it Door _ and then whatever this type of door is. So this could be Space Door _01. And then in here, I'm going to right-click Import New Asset. And I'm going to go to that Doors folder on the desktop, grab my door @ open, and hit Import. Then I'm going to right-click again. I'm going to import a new asset. And I'm going to do door @ door idle. And let's go ahead and select this, and then off to the side here in the inspector, I'm going to go ahead and select my animation and press play. You can see it opens and closes, which is nice. So what we can do here is we can also break this up. You can see here it opens here, and then it closes at frame 106. So if we wanted to, we can break this into several animations. So let's say from frame, and you can see the frame number down here as well. So at about frame 1, it's, well, let's see, 105 is the end of that. So what I can do is I can change this to 105 here and say, okay, my starting frame is 0. And then the ending of it, I'm sorry, is that frame, sorry, I was looking at seconds, frame 29. So I can change this to 29, and that's my opening. So I can say, okay, that looks good. So I'm going to hit apply, and what you'll notice is now door open, if I extend this, is right here. And that only goes towards that. So let's go ahead and shrink this and say, okay, if our last one ends at 29, let's go ahead and add a new animation. And I'm going to rename this door close. And I'm going to go ahead and hit apply. And what's happening here is it made a new one. Let's make sure that we hit enter after it. There we go. And there we go. Now it's checked in. Now door close, we don't want it to start at 0 because it's the exact same as the other one. We want it to start at 29. Let's go ahead and hit apply. And then end at 35. So now door close is the last part. So let's open this up, and you'll notice here that we have door open and door close. Now we don't even have to use this guy. Now that we know this trick, right? We can select this and add a new one and just name this door idle. And then make it 0 to frame 0, and then hit apply. So if we have all three of those in here, a way to really shrink our project down is to select this guy here and delete it. So now we have a smaller project. Let's bring our door inside of here, and let's go ahead and press play. And what you'll notice though is it's not playing. There's no actual animation. So what we're going to do is we're going to create two triggers. We're going to go ahead and create one trigger that blocks those two doors. So you can see here, there's the left door, and then there's the right door, right? This is what opens and closes. So I'm going to select both of these guys. I'm going to go to Add Component, and I'm just going to add a physics rigid body, or I'm sorry, box glider. So that adds it to both. So now when I press play, if I try to walk into that door, I can't any longer, okay? And the next thing I'm going to do is, let's go ahead and expand this out a little bit bigger. Oops. And let's go ahead and turn this guy around so we're looking at our door. The next thing I do is I need some sort of area to trigger that animation. So we have those two set up, we have our door in our scene, and we have our three animations. So what we'll do, I'm going to go ahead and stop this video here, but what we'll do in the next one is we'll go ahead and create a Mecanim controller, and then we'll look at scripting it so when our character walks up to the door it opens, and when he leaves, or he or she or it leaves, it'll close.